There was a saying by Martin Luther King about what is the most persistent and urgent question that we as humans have to answer, and that is, what are we going to do for somebody else today? And there's a struggle because the natural tendency is to think of ourselves.
So much of our society is reactive, right? So these huge problems happen and then people come to put band-aids or try to swoop in and fix things that are already so broken. And mentoring is one shining exception to that.
I started mentoring in 2008, so it's been about 12 years now, all through Cray, Youth and Family Services, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and now one-to-one mentoring. And I've loved every minute of it.
Cray Youth and Family Services has been actually providing mentoring services in Newcastle and the surrounding area since 1996. A lot of the families that we serve are single-parent families or non-traditional families, and that would mean grandparents raising children. The opioid epidemic, we've definitely seen an increase in other family members taking the lead in raising children that maybe didn't anticipate doing so. These are people that want really good things for these kids, but they don't have time to go to the library. They don't have time to go to museums or to do enrichment activities like going to the YMCA or just going for walks. These are families that are working really hard to keep food on the table, to keep everything kind of just going. So a lot of our families are at that bottom part of, if you've heard of the pyramid of needs, right? The safety and the basic needs are at the bottom of the pyramid, and then it's not until you get to the top of the pyramid where really good stuff starts to happen. And so our families are doing a great job of keeping their kids safe, they're doing a great job of keeping food on the table, but they're not moving past that to help with relationship skills or to help with opportunities and exposure to things to show that there's more out there.
I tried to avoid it for about 20 years, and finally the gentleman that was there, I'd spoken to him on numerous occasions and tried to come up with every excuse in the book why not to do it, and we just kept at it, and eventually he wore me down and I said let's do it, and it's been the best decision I've made.
We are so excited about the Compeer Youth model. What had happened in our traditional model that one-to-one mentoring uses, it did not allow for service to children that have a mental health diagnosis. So we were seeking training on more mental health so that we could start to incorporate some of this, and we learned of the Compeer model, which is also a national evidence-based model of mentoring, and it's very similar to one-to-one in that it's one mentor paired with one child, and it's the development of the relationship that makes the impact. But it also has the added piece of working with the child's mental health provider. So these are children that are already seeking good mental health through therapy, through medication, through a variety of resources, and then those resources are referring them to us for mentoring to supplement the good work that they're doing. And so the kids that are in our program are not kids that have extreme behaviors related to poor mental health. So they're not kids that are experiencing criminal behavior or hurting people or hurting themselves. These are people primarily struggling with things such as depression, anxiety, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, autism.
You're not going to change the world, but you're going to make a difference in one child's life, and all you got to do is just come back into their life. You know, it's all they say, like you just go to the movies, you go to dinner, you go miniature golf, you go bowling. The thing is, you're constantly coming back into their lives, and all of a sudden they realize that, hey, somebody else that doesn't even really know me cares about me. Not only does my mom or grandma or dad or whoever, or hopefully, you know, some other people, but now there's this other person that cares about me too.
These are really the children in our neighborhood. There are children that you know and that I know that have these conditions that maybe, you know, no one wears a sign that says it. So that's what this program is geared towards.
If you're blessed enough to have resources, then you have to figure out a way to use those to help make society better. That's what makes a good society. If you hoard all of those resources for your own self or your own immediate clique or group, you're going to run into trouble at some point, I believe.